It is a sad day for Cuba. It has been announced that Cuba will allow Google to bring more internet access to the country, becoming the first international content provider in the country into one of the least internet connected countries in the world. I tend to think that that claim is actually false. There is an internet in Cuba. It runs by a cable that goes under the sea, but it's of very poor quality given the technology that's being used. And then, of course, we will typically just ignore the embargo and pretend that doesn't have any effect on the country whatsoever and then make fun of it. But there's a local data center that has been opened by Google which will hold information such as YouTube videos for streaming rather than connecting through the long submarine cables that go to the internet. In other words, instead of, like, say you're in Cuba and you watch a YouTube video, you're going to one of the YouTube servers where that video is stored. There'll be a bunch of pre-saved content on a server inside of Cuba, which will make it a lot faster and a lot easier to connect to because you're not going through the antiquated technology in order to get to it. So, I mean, it will speed things up, it will make it better. However, Google admits that the move to localize the content, like place it directly in Cuba, will not have any visible impact on the situation. In other words, the internet access for the average Cuban really won't change at all. I mean, internet access is available to Cubans. However, given the economic situation, the internet is extraordinarily expensive. It can be up to $1.50 per hour per Cuban, while the average wage is about $25 a month. So, as you can see, when you're in the situation that Cuba is in, these kinds of things that are not considered total necessities, like healthcare and education, they tend to be a little bit more expensive because the emphasis is placed in other regions where people need them much more, like healthcare and education. However, I think that Cuba is making a terrible mistake by actually having Google do this. I mean, it's not like you can trust Google. I mean, they do carry out illegal tracking of your information. They do spy on you. They do all kinds of unethical things to the American people on behalf of the American government. So what makes us believe that they wouldn't do it to Cuba as well? If you're handing control of your internet over to a foreign company, particularly one that has, continuous decades of attacking you, sabotaging your country, literally carrying out physical terrorism against your country and your sovereignty, why would you then turn around and trust those same people? It makes absolutely no sense to me. I do understand that they're going to have some kind of outside force come in and produce some kind of upgrade technology and whatnot in order to do that. But why do it with a company that is going to spy on you and very openly does it to its own people? I mean, the US has already carries out sabotage against the country socially all the time anyway through NGOs. You don't think it would be even easier to do it through an internet, which there's going to be a back door to, which the CIA is going to have access to, that US imperialism is going to use to destabilize the country. So I really question why would they do this, knowing that it's going to hurt them in the long run? Are they just trying to get the infrastructure and then just ditch Google at the end? Or, what kind of measures are that are being carried out? There's a lot of really questionable things being done in Cuba right now, things that make me really question whether or not they're even socialist anymore. And I would have to say that given the amount of new creation of private property, etc., I wouldn't consider them to be a socialist country anymore. Just a very highly regulated economy, but still fundamentally at its core, given the emphasis on creating private property, not just that it's there or that they're trying to get rid of it, but the actual promotion of it. Selling cars for profit, selling homes and other dwellings for profit. This is capitalism, pure and simple. There's no way of just changing this in your mind or calling it market socialism or something. It's not socialism at all. The market is the mechanism that which creates inequality. So how can you claim to have a mechanism of inequality inside of socialism and then continue to call it socialism? The fact is, this is a very disturbing trend and a very dangerous thing that Cuba is doing right now, and the full effects of which have yet to be seen. But I do not believe that they are beyond criticism for taking this kind of measure. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.